Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a good summer. If you're new here, my name is Noelle. I do all kind of motherhood, thrifting, homemaking, baking from scratch kind of content here on my channel. I wanted to take you guys along for some summer days. I haven't filmed very much this summer, but I thought it would be fun to take you along and show you some recipes we've been enjoying and some things we've been up to, and just, have a little chat, because that's what we've been doing on this channel. Is we like to chat. Started off the morning with baking some fresh sandwich bread. I will try to leave all my recipes down below. Currently I don't have a blog, but you guys have been asking for it, so I will try to make that happen for you guys, so you can find a landing, so you guys can have a landing page for all of my recipes, and somewhere to refer it back to, and not always have to look in the description or rewatch the video, even though I appreciate the views and I appreciate all of you. We started out the morning with iced coffee, iced latte, an absolute must. This was a brown sugar iced latte, so good with raw milk. It really doesn't get any better than that, or really any fresher than that. So we headed off to the farm early in the morning. I live in an area where it's so funny because you get the best of both worlds. Very city, urban, also in the country though. So if I drive literally a minute or two down the road, I am in full country in the middle of nowhere where there's tons of farms. They have raw milk, all type of good farm goods, and we love to support our local farms. So we headed out to one of our favorites that we go to every year, and we went berry picking for all of the fresh berries. Currently berry season is, I believe, over. You could maybe pick blueberries still. Those still might be really in season, but this video was filmed more in the beginning of summer. I've just been so behind on my editing, you guys. Like, I have a new baby. Life has been so full, but also so slow. We'll talk a little bit more about a slow, simple summer in a little bit. But yeah, it's been such a good time. We've been having an amazing summer. It's been slow, but also not at the same time. It's so funny how life works. Anyway, we wanted to go berry picking. We do it every year. It's a tradition of ours, and we always have so much fun doing it. However, this year it was a little bit more tricky with a new baby. It was getting hot. We made it out here about maybe 9:30, 10, and where I live, it gets over 114 some days, so it is very hot. Hot with a capital H, okay? It is it is very hot where I live. By 10:30, it's already blazing, okay? And we are sweating. So it was I wish we would have got out here a little bit earlier, but it's been a challenge to get out of the house with 3 children. Just to keep it so real. But we made it out here and we had a good time. The kids had so much fun. We love to go berry picking. The summertime is one of my favorites for fresh food, obviously. I don't love over 100-degree weather. I am just gonna be so real with you guys. I love going to the pool, and I love berry picking and, making yummy treats in the summer. But I am not a fan of being outside when it's over 100. So we wanted to make this kind of quick and not be here for more than an hour and a half, just because it was getting pretty hot quickly. Little Nora, our little newborn, was, she's not a newborn at this point. She's about 3 months when we went berry picking. And it was hot though. She didn't love being in the wrap after we did the strawberry picking. She was fine in the beginning, and then she wanted to get out of the wrap, which is totally fine. So you will see me just holding her and berry picking as well. We were picking blueberries when I was holding her, and she did amazing. Once I took her out of the wrap, she was very happy, and she was just, hanging out with us, and it was great. But it was getting hot. We didn't get a chance to pick the fresh peaches and nectarines this summer because we were not going to walk all the way to the back of the farm, because this is a huge farm. They also have zucchini and a whole bunch of other things growing as well. It's a really nice place to get fresh produce, as well as the prices are really good. You just have to pick it yourself, but it's so fun. A lot of people come out and pick. Yeah, but when you have a new baby, you have to move a little differently than what you typically would. And my other two children are quite a bit older. They are 5 and 6. So going all the way back to having a newborn again has been so amazing in so many ways. I am so grateful to have another baby added to the family. It's been wonderful, like truly. But you do have to, move a little bit differently. You can't do all of the things you used to do, how you used to do it. So it's okay. We just went to the front and picked up some fresh peaches because we weren't walking all the way back. It was just too hot and I had to carry a baby. Then we stopped at my favorite local coffee shop and grabbed a sparkling berry lemonade. So good. Oh my goodness. It was really refreshing. And then in our neighborhood, we found a free little library. I didn't film it, but I'm just showing you the books that I found. A lot of children books, a lot of really cool old recipe books. If you guys know me, I am into all things vintage and antique, and finding old cookbooks is so cool to me. I just love seeing the recipes from way back when. I just think it's fun. Also to try new recipes that are so old, but new to me. It's just such a good time. The kids were starving. I hopped in the kitchen, started slicing up my sandwich bread loaf. This is from a Pullman pan, which I have been absolutely adoring lately. It is, I believe in French, called pain de mie. And I will leave the recipe down below. You do need to buy the pan. I guess you don't have to buy the pan, but this recipe is specifically designed around the pan that has the lid. I have some really good Pullman pans I was able to thrift, which was such a cool find, honestly. You can find them used on Amazon as well. And they have the lid, so you get like the perfectly shaped bread. You don't have to worry about shaping it too much, It's great. So I'm making grilled cheese sandwiches. And also, not to mention, this bread is the softest bread you'll probably ever have that's homemade. It's great. The kids wanted grilled cheese. I am in the kitchen multitasking while holding a baby. You will probably see me a lot holding and wearing a baby because she really likes to be held and doesn't like to be put down. So that is just where we're at in the season of life we're in. And I'm honestly loving it. It is a challenge, but I love it so much. I love all of the snuggles and cuddles and kisses throughout the day. And doing everything one-handed is becoming easier and easier because I don't really have a choice. Otherwise, she'll just cry. And I don't know. I think it's so sweet that when she's with me, she's just so comfortable and at ease and happy. So I really honestly don't mind it. These days, if you are also in the newborn early months of a new baby, I'll take it from someone that already had 2 kids prior, that it goes really fast. Like truly, these days are fleeting. And before you know it, they're going to be running around the house with their siblings. So my version of a grilled cheese, I put 2 fried eggs on top of, just a normal grilled cheese. And that is so good. If you haven't tried it, highly recommend. It would be really good if you had like sausage or bacon too, but I just did eggs and cheese. Delicious. Now I am just cleaning our fruit. I have been loving to clean it this way. Recently, I've been doing white vinegar and 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and it creates such a cool reaction. It's so fun. The kids really love this. It's all bubbly, and it kind of looks like some cool fizzy drink. And we've been loving to clean the fruit this way. It doesn't make it mushy, and it cleans really, really well. So I've been doing blueberries this way and really everything lately. So that's been really fun, and the kids really enjoy watching the bubbles. The fruit was amazing. There is nothing fresher or more delicious than fresh fruit right off of the vine or, whatever bush it was picked from. I was showing you guys my little small zucchini that we picked. We unfortunately did not get any zucchini besides this little baby zucchini, which is fine. We are going to use it, but I also had other zucchini at the house. So we're going to make it into something in a little bit. I'm just cutting off the tops of the strawberries and just getting ready to preserve these strawberries. I cannot wait one day until I can grow my own strawberries and fruits and vegetables. We are working on a garden right now. We laugh and say that we're homesteading in the city, just on our patio. And I know it's doable, people do it. And we have been doing that this spring and summer, and it's been honestly so fun. I didn't know if taking on gardening while having a new baby was a wise idea. I highly recommend it though. It's been so calming, fun, and just exciting, honestly. Here I am multitasking again. My wraps were dirty and I need to wash them from getting, food or whatever on them. One got a poop explosion in it, real mom life. So I'm just rocking the baby with my foot in her rocker so I can cut some strawberries. Because, some things you just can't do one-handed, okay? We are going to make a strawberry preserve, which is very simple. I just added fresh strawberries, about a cup or two of sugar. I think I added 2 cups of sugar for this, and squeezed in some fresh lemon juice. And you can also crunch up these berries. I kept them pretty whole and crunched them up just a little bit, or mashed them up just a little bit, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can keep them whole if you want, but also if you mash them is great too. For a lot of things, I don't really follow a recipe, so when you guys ask, I write it out. I'm kind of a measure with your heart kind of girl. But also, I do follow recipes too, but then I also like to tailor recipes. Here's a little garden break. I went out here to go water our little patio garden. It is so fun. No matter the space you guys have, I highly encourage you to get out there and start just growing stuff. It's so fun. We have lettuce, we have tomatoes, we have basil, we have broccoli. We have so many different things, cucumbers, cilantro, all of that just growing on our patio. And that has been a really fun project. We've also been swimming a lot. The kids went swimming this day. It was very hot, so we took a break from being in the kitchen and let our strawberry preserves cool and went to the swimming pool. There's my mom. Love her. The kids adore her. And I'm so thankful for everything she does for us. And yeah, so just spending time this summer has been such a priority for us. Just being together in the moment, taking things slow, not overbooking our summer, just doing the things that we really like to do has been key, and it's just been great. I decided to turn on a movie. I love Aquamarine. Who remembers this movie? It is such a good, classic, iconic movie. I used to always watch it in the summer. I had it on DVD on repeat like my whole childhood. So I decided to put that on while I was in the kitchen. I often do this. I love to put on podcasts and movies while I'm doing things in the kitchen. So now I'm starting dinner. I wanted to make a simple dinner. We had all of the ingredients for crunch wrap. So I'm making homemade crunch wraps. I've done this before in the past. It's been a little bit though. And I did buy the store-bought tostadas, and I had tortillas made from a different time in the freezer, so I took those out. But you can do store-bought tortillas or really whatever you want. I also made the cheese sauce, which is really easy to do. Just like, Taco Bell. If you guys are not familiar with the crunch wrap, where have you been? Taco Bell has this amazing thing called the crunch wrap. Well, I'm not going to say it's amazing anymore because I'm not really sure that I feel the same way about it now that I've had it homemade. But when I was a kid, crunch wraps were so nostalgic. We used to go there every Saturday night with my friends, hanging out and eating from Taco Bell. Like Taco Bell used to be the late night spot, Anyway, so I wanted to make crunch wraps, and it's pretty simple. For the homemade crunch wraps, it's very simple. If you want the tortilla recipe, I will try to remember to leave that in the description. And if I don't leave it down there, just remind me in the comments. The cheese sauce is really easy to make. All it is was heavy cream, melted, shredded American cheese, and some butter. So basically, I just made a roux. If you don't know what a roux is, it is just flour and butter. And then I added in the cheese and then some heavy cream. And I wanted the sauce to be pretty thick. And then for the folding of it, you fold in each corner and kind of just make it in like a hexagon shape. Put whatever toppings you really want. For the meat, I just added taco seasoning. This was ground beef. And then I just did lettuce and tomato. It was so good. We've been eating those a lot this summer because it's truly just very easy. Next up in the kitchen, this is kind of how I work, and my workflow with homemaking is to dedicate maybe a few days at a time in the week to do a lot of my kitchen stuff, like preparing our bread and, you know, making and meal prepping a few meals. It just makes everything so much easier, especially this summertime. I don't want to be in the kitchen as much. You know, you have the oven running. We do have, you know, pretty good AC, but I don't want the oven running too much. So that's kind of how I work. I don't want to be in the kitchen as much in the summer just because, you know, it's hot and we want to be outside as much as possible when it's not, you know, over 100 and we're going to blaze up. But that's kind of every day here. So to be honest, we do spend a lot of time in the house in the summer. I wish it wasn't as hot so we could be outside a little bit more. But there's a lot of pool days and, you know, we get a lot of sunshine, a lot of farmers market days and things like that. So I am making a artisan sourdough loaf. The kids love the artisan bread and they often just want to snack on it. And I love it for avocado toast. You can make sandwiches out of it. It is honestly great. I'm putting on a Peter Rabbit edible little wafer. My kids love these. I got these. We have a bunch that I showed that it comes with from this little shop that she does like little sourdough art decals that are edible, and it's just so much fun. We love Beatrix Potter. We love her books. And yeah, so definitely have a lot of fun with the Peter Rabbit breads. They ask for them all the time. I'm probably gonna have to buy another pack soon because they always want a Peter Rabbit bread. We don't do this every week, but for the most part, you know, we do it pretty often. It's been a spring, summer favorite. And yeah, I'm just doing some scoring around the edible wafer because you have to, of course, score the bread. But a little bit more about a slow, simple summer. It has been just so great. It feels like it's been really relaxing and we just haven't been doing too much. We do have some little day trips planned in the fall that is going to be exciting. We like to do a lot of things that people like to do in the summer, more in the fall, because the kids go back to school and it's just so much. Oh, here's the finished bread, by the way. I forgot to take a video, so there's a picture for you. I am just rolling out some pie dough that I made the night before. I always like to keep pie dough around in my freezer, but I made this one the day prior. Pie dough is just so good to have on hand to make really many different kind of pastries or desserts. You can make so many different kind of savory pies. My favorite that I make is chicken pot pie, but I'm not making that right now. I'm making homemade Pop-Tarts with the fresh strawberries that we picked and we turned into preserves. So that is what I'm doing right now. This recipe is very simple. It is a little time consuming, I will say, but honestly very worth it. These turned out really good, very yummy. And such a good way to make something with fresh picked berries. We love these. So I'm just taking my pie dough. I let chill in the fridge for a while. You want to make sure you're working with cold pie dough because that can be a little bit difficult to get right, is making sure that your pie dough stays cold while you're rolling it out and shaping it. I also got my ruler and try to be a little bit more precise so I can have Pop-Tarts that are around the same size and look pretty uniform. And then I just brushed it with some egg wash and I'm putting about a teaspoon of strawberry preserves inside. You don't want the preserves to start oozing out because that's a whole other issue. But I'm not gonna lie, I had some that did ooze out and it was okay. It was totally fine. But try to avoid that if you can. but it's kind of hard because it was running all over the place. I should have made my preserves just a little bit thicker, and that would have solved that problem, but it's totally fine. They tasted amazing. They did get a tiny bit messy. I had a little bit of strawberry preserves on the pan, and it was fine. So I really wouldn't worry about it too much. I'm just taking a fork and I'm closing them up and sealing them together so we don't have a ton of strawberry leaking. You don't want to add too much to your Pop-Tart because it's going to be a mess all over the tray, and you just don't want that. I'm just trimming the edges of the Pop-Tart off. You do not have to do this. I'm just using a pizza cutter just to trim off the little extra edges, making them a little bit more symmetrical. This is very unnecessary, but I decided to do this just to have them look a little bit more uniform, because when you use the fork, it kind of pushes the pie dough out and it can get a little bit uneven. So I just did my best to make them look a little bit more like little Pop-Tarts. I also decided to make mini Pop-Tarts and not like the size that you would get from store-bought. I'm going to brush the Pop-Tarts with a little bit of that egg wash that we used before we put the filling in, and then I'm going to put them in the oven at 350, probably for about 30 minutes or so, just kind of keep an eye on them, and the egg wash will help to encourage it to get brown. Nice and golden is what we want. And then I let them cool completely, and then I mixed up a very simple frosting. All I did was probably about a cup of sugar and a tablespoon or a teaspoon of water, and you just kind of get the right consistency. You don't want it to be too thin, you don't want it to be too thick, and kind of just play around with that a little bit. And I added a little bit of vanilla extract and kept it very simple. And I just put it on top, nothing too crazy. I didn't worry about it being perfect. You can make it a perfect rectangle or whatever you want, but these are just for my kids, a treat for my kids. We adored these. They were delicious. My husband said they're so much more like a toaster strudel than a Pop-Tart though, and I completely agree. They taste just like a toaster strudel, but so much better at home. Pop-Tarts I didn't really like. They're so much more dry. They are so good. I just topped it off with a little bit of these sprinkles from Watkins. They are no artificial dyes. We love that here in this house. Anything that's not dye or artificial flavorings, whatever, we love that. We're here for the non-toxic option almost every time. And now we're just doing a little bit of homeschool and reading out loud for the day. And then we're going to jump back in the kitchen. I did some nursing, did a diaper change, spent a little bit of time with the kids, and now it's lunchtime and my kids want a sandwich. My kids love sandwiches. The day prior they had grilled cheese, and then now we're cutting into this second loaf, and I'm just going to make them a simple jelly sandwich. Not with the preserves that we made the day prior, even though they have had sandwiches with that preserves when we ran out of jelly and they absolutely loved it. However, the preserves is a lot sweeter than this good jelly. This one has really good ingredients, not a lot of added sugar, so we do like that. It is a lot less sweet than the preserves that I made. However, though, the kids love the preserves in a sandwich. I just put a lot less because it is a lot more sweet. And then we're making fairy bread. If you don't know, fairy bread is an Aussie thing from Australia. We have been obsessed with these sprinkles, by the way, by Watkins. We put them on the Pop-Tarts, and we've been putting them in cakes and a whole bunch of stuff this summer. It has been great. Like I was saying, they don't have any artificial dyes. But fairy bread is just butter and sprinkles on a piece of bread, and if you haven't tried it, it's so good. Highly recommend as a good snack. Just those little hint of like sweetness with the sprinkles is so good. I also love the colors that those sprinkles come in. Anywho, moving on to our next little baking endeavor. I am making oat bars. I will leave the recipe down below, and we're using the We are using the leftover strawberry preserves that we made for our Pop-Tarts and little oat bars. They are delicious. My kids keep asking me to make more of these. I haven't made these in a while. The recipe is very simple, very easy, and they are delicious and such a good snack. 10 out of 10. Next, I'm making a baked oatmeal for, honestly, for lunch, just because I was hungry and I wanted baked oatmeal. My kids like it too, and we will eat this all week. So I like to just get in the kitchen, get a whole bunch of things cooking and going at one time. I'm just making a baked oatmeal, and I had the oats in the fridge overnight. You don't have to do this. There's been a few times I just made it where I didn't do the overnight oats thing and it was totally fine, baked up the same. So I don't even think it's necessary to do the overnight oats part. But however, we are using the fresh blueberries that we picked the day before. And it is such a good breakfast, a good lunch, and it's great to add some protein to it. All you have to do is add, I'll leave the recipe for the baked oatmeal down below too. And I like to put heavy cream on top or milk and honey. I didn't do honey this time for some reason, but I often put honey too. Absolutely delicious, okay? I live for these simple recipes. And speaking of simple, we're moving on to dinner. I wanted to keep things very easy. I love to do meal prep when I have little pockets of time throughout the day, especially with the new baby. I love to do meal preps when I have time in between taking care of the kids or the house. So this is barbecue chicken that I had marinating that I made the day prior. In between, I don't think I filmed it, but I just threw it in a plastic bag, marinated it, seasoned it, and just let it do its marinating thing in the fridge and makes for an easy dinner the next day. This has been a summer favorite, just marinating chicken. You could do it on the grill. I don't have a grill, so we're just going with the oven, and it turns out great. It's really yummy. You could do it with so many different kinds of seasonings and, sauces. You can make your own barbecue sauce or whatever sauce you want. But I'm using Sweet Baby Ray's sauce. I don't know. This is a classic. Then I'm just going to throw that in the oven. I threw some whole potatoes in the oven, poke some holes in them, and just let them become cooked. And then I take them out and I'm smashing it. And we're making some twice baked potatoes. We do this often now. It's so good. Adding a lot of salt, a decent amount of real salt, pepper, and a whole stick of melted butter with some green onions. Cannot forget the seasonings. This is so good. If you haven't tried it, it's very simple, but turned into a favorite here over the last few months. Has been great. Adding some oregano. Any seasonings you really want in your mashed potatoes would be good. And then I'm adding a little bit of cheese and some more green onions, and then adding some bacon on top. You guys, this is so good, and it's so good. It's like a loaded baked potato. And then I put it back in the oven and let everything melt and get all brown and the cheese melty. It's divine. You guys have to try it. And then I have some asparagus just going for our greens. We love asparagus and eat it. We love asparagus and we eat it literally all the time in this house. And then I am making zucchini bread because I wanted to use up that zucchini that we were able to get at the farm. And I had 2 other large zucchinis to make that zucchini bread. So that worked out great. I mixed that up. I'll leave the recipe for the zucchini bread down below. It is so good. So we'll have that to eat and snack on throughout, the week. It makes for an easy breakfast, a good snack, and you can add a protein to it for breakfast, like sausages or whatever. And then that baked potato little casserole thing was ready. So good, you guys. I can't even recommend that dish enough. And you can do it with really any protein. My go-to is a protein, any kind of meat, and a starch or a carb and a vegetable. You cannot go wrong with that. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed all of these fun, summery recipes that we've been enjoying. And I hope you guys are having a good summer. I am enjoying my summer so much, and I cannot believe that we're already heading into fall. I am very excited for fall, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds, but I have been loving this summer with my family and our new addition. It has just felt like a fever dream, to be honest. And I am so thankful to the Lord for just everybody around me and everything that's been going on this summer. So, very thankful. I find such beauty in a very simple, slow living season like summer. It is not that slow for a lot of people, though. I know there's a lot of people taking trips and summer camps and whatever else that people have planned. We really wanted to be very intentional about a slow, simple summer and just spend time with each other, not doing anything too fancy. Just like I said, swimming, farmers markets, it's really keeping it simple, as well as hosting a few little family gatherings and whatever we did this summer. It was just great. We didn't make it to the beach this summer, but we will probably in the fall. It stays hot here till mid-November, so we are really not in any rush, but it's just been really nice to not be overbooked and overscheduled and just truly enjoying the summer and taking it slow, making all the treats, playing in the water, enjoying the sunshine, all of that good stuff. So, basking in summer and switching over, slowly transitioning into fall. Anywho, I will see you guys in the next one, and make sure you guys check that description for those recipes if you would like them. And, drop some comments. I love talking to you guys in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and supporting my channel as always, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.